Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This briefing will provide information on the COVID-19 vaccine so that you can make the right choice for you and your family. Vaccines work by first taking a small piece of a virus or bacteria that a person's body can recognize without making them sick. In step 2, the piece of virus or bacteria is combined with other fluids to stabilize them so they can be delivered and stored. The resulting vaccine is given to an individual using a specific amount and location, typically an injection in the arm. Once inside the body, the immune system fights the piece of virus or bacteria as though the body were actually infected with the disease. This immune response results in memory cells or antibodies. The body will keep these memory cells to be able to quickly respond to the virus or bacteria if it ever comes into contact with them again. The current COVID-19 vaccines work the same as other vaccines, except that they are made with a small part of the virus's genetic instructions, or mRNA. This mRNA teaches our cells how to make the spike protein found on the surface of the COVID-19 virus. The body makes the virus spike protein, and the mRNA is destroyed. This piece of protein will cause an immune response in the body that will lead to memory cells. Like other vaccines, the body will be able to quickly respond if it ever comes into contact with the COVID-19 virus before a person becomes infected and gets sick. The COVID-19 vaccine is an mRNA vaccine. These types of vaccines have been studied for influenza, Zika, rabies, and cytomegalovirus. mRNA does not enter the DNA in a human cell and cannot give someone COVID-19. There are currently 2 vaccines that have received emergency use authorization: Pfizer/BioNTech and Moderna. Both are mRNA vaccines with a 2-dose schedule. The Pfizer and Moderna vaccines are very effective at preventing COVID-19. The length of time that the vaccine will protect an individual is currently unknown. The Pfizer vaccine has received FDA authorization for patients 16 years and older, whereas the Moderna vaccine is for patients 18 years and older. The COVID-19 vaccine is safe. The speed of development was possible because vaccines were purchased ahead of time, so companies could begin large-scale production immediately. There were no shortcuts in regards to safety during development and testing. All safety checks were accomplished and the vaccine was given priority review at every level. Testing included large numbers of participants for both vaccines, and about 30% of U.S. participants were of racial or ethnic minorities. No serious safety concerns were noted in either study. All reactions were mild and occurred in about 2 to 4% of participants. Clinical trial data has been carefully reviewed by experts. The FDA has reviewed all data and granted the emergency use authorization because the known and potential benefits outweighed the potential risks of the vaccine. The Advisory Committee for Immunization Practices, ACIP, which includes external scientists and medical experts, reviewed all safety data before making a recommendation for general public use. Adverse events from all administered vaccines are closely monitored to make adjustments, if needed, through a central vaccine safety monitoring system. This data is tracked within the Department of Defense and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. 2 shots of the vaccine are needed to provide the best protection against COVID-19. The first shot primes the immune system, helping it recognize the virus, and the second shot strengthens the immune system. The 2 doses of the Pfizer/BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine are given 21 days apart. The Moderna vaccine doses are given 28 days apart. The most common side effects of the vaccine are swelling or redness around the injection site, muscle or joint aches and pains, fatigue, headache, and fever. These are signs that your immune system is working and fighting the spike protein. Very rarely, individuals may have a severe allergic reaction. Individuals with a history of allergic reactions to vaccines should talk with their healthcare provider before receiving the vaccine. If you have any concerns, make sure to discuss it with your healthcare provider. Priority of the COVID-19 vaccine is to protect our service members, DoD civilians, and families to safeguard national security capabilities and support the whole of government response to the pandemic. Vaccine distribution is based on certain personnel's risk factors. The first priority group are healthcare workers and emergency services personnel, followed by personnel performing critical national missions. Next is those with medical complications or multiple diseases. Vaccines will be offered to other beneficiaries as more vaccines are available and after priority individuals have been vaccinated. It is important to note that while getting the vaccine is voluntary, DoD personnel are encouraged to get it to protect their health, their families, and their community. How do you get your vaccine? Each medical treatment facility will provide vaccines based on the approved prioritization plan. Timing will depend on availability of the vaccine and number of individuals in each group. Personnel will be notified based on the communication plan each facility has put in place. Ensure you know where the information is being shared, for example, installation websites and social media platforms. It is your choice to receive or not receive the COVID-19 vaccine. Should you decide not to receive it, it will not change your standard medical care. Long-term side effects, if any, would be considered a service-connected disability for active duty members. There are some things to note after receiving the COVID-19 vaccine. The vaccine is only one of many important tools to help stop this pandemic. No vaccine is 100% effective. It can take a few weeks to build up immunity against the virus, and it is possible to get infected with the virus right before or right after the vaccine was administered. It is important to continue using all the tools available to help stop this pandemic as we learn more about COVID-19 vaccines. We need to continue all public health measures, including correctly wearing a mask when around others, washing your hands often, and staying at least 6 feet away from others and avoiding large gatherings. Here are some key points from this briefing. COVID-19 vaccines cannot make you sick with the coronavirus because the vaccines do not contain the live virus that causes COVID-19. The purpose of the vaccine is to teach the immune system to recognize and fight the virus that causes COVID-19. Sometimes this process can cause a fever, but this is normal and a sign the vaccine is working. It typically takes a few weeks to build up immunity against the virus. This means that it is possible to get infected with the virus right before or after the vaccine is administered. Therefore, it is important to continue mask wear, hand washing, and social distancing. Consult with your healthcare team for questions specific to your medical status. Feel free to use any of the listed resources for additional information.